Hi all, good evening, and we are in the last session of INSIG 2021. At this juncture, I would like to quote, "It always seems impossible until it is done." And now we are almost done. So slowly moving into the concluding session, now I invite Mr. Satish Babu, Chair, APRALO, to give the welcome address. Satish, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Sudha. I hope you can hear me and see me. Guests, fellows, colleagues, a very warm welcome to the closing session of the 6th edition of INSIG. We have had a very intense and interactive 6th edition. Now, as most of you are aware, INSIG has a roving model where we move from city to city, but the last two have been virtual. So everybody is kind of virtual. So there is no, even we tried hybrid and all that, but that didn't work out. So in this edition, we have 15 international fellows, 22 Indian fellows, and 10 local fellows. But as can be imagined with the current fatigue, some of them could not make it to all these sessions. Now, one of the unique aspects of INSIG is that while it started out as a joint program of 2 ISOC chapters in Delhi and Trivandrum, today it is a joint program of all 6 ISOC chapters in India. And for us, this has been very beneficial because it provides leadership continuity, but also and also credibility and stability. And perhaps because of the continuity, over these years, we have evolved into a platform that has initiated a number of new programs. For instance, INSIG helped to incubate the India Youth IGF in 2018. We also helped to organize the GFC III workshop series as day 0 events of INSIG. And very recently, we were also involved in the initial efforts to establish an India IGF, and we are very happy to see that this is happening next week. For the future, INSIG hopes to continue its work and also leverage our 300-strong alumni into a collective force for discussing, participating in, and influencing internet governance in India and globally. With this background, I'd like to segue into my assigned task of formally welcoming speakers today. I start with Martin Boterman, who is the chair of ICANN's board. Martin, of course, is not a stranger to INSIG, as this is his 4th consecutive INSIG that he's participating in, and 2 of these were in person. Therefore, in the organizers in INSIG, we consider Martin as one of our close associates. I had met Martin several years ago, at an ICANN leadership training program, and since then, we have had the occasion to work together on different initiatives, including the GFC III workshop series. And it has been a very fruitful and productive association. And we have Martin again in our closing session to deliver a keynote address. And I'd like to welcome Martin on all our behalf to this session. Welcome, Martin.
Thank you, Satish, and what an introduction. And I couldn't agree more that...
Martin, yes. I'll come back to you. I'll run through this and then come back to you for the actual...
Okay.
So
I thought this was my cue.
So the second speaker is Anil Jain, and he's one of the most important personalities in India and vis-a-vis internet governance. He is the CEO of NIXI, and he works on the CCNSO Council, where he leads several important committees. And as the CEO of NIXI, he has been, for instance, pushing multilingualism, which is very important for India. And the current India IGF website is there in 14 languages, including Spanish and French, interestingly. And Anil ji and I have been also working together on the ICANN EPDP on IDNs. Now, ICANN is full of acronyms, and this is one of them, EPDP on IDNs. What the hell does that mean? It means the expedited policy development process on internationalized domain names. So now this is important because we are going to transition into another new round of new GTLDs, and this time with more focus on IDNs. So this is an important piece of work. And I'd like to welcome Mr. Anil Jain to this session, and I'm sure he'll be speaking to us about his activities in all these areas. Now, Ahita was a fellow of INSIG in 2017, and during that time, she and some other young people proposed that there should be an India Youth IGF. And the INSIG organizers discussed this and said, yes, that's a good idea. And from 2018 in Delhi, when the first Youth IGF was launched, it has been an ongoing annual event. And on behalf of all of us, I welcome Ahita to talk to us about this year's plans. Now we come to Glenn, and Glenn has also been an old friend. Glenn and I have been working together on multiple organizations, including IEEE, open source, ICANN at large, and schools on internet governance. Glenn has been a part of all our face-to-face editions, and he's been helping us to document our editions through photographs and videos. After the global pandemic, Glenn and some of the other colleagues have started a virtual SIG, a completely online SIG, which is never perhaps going to become a face-to-face event. So we have invited Glenn to hear from him on what is this VC concept and what is this plans for the future. And finally, INSIG will be moving to Hyderabad next year, and we hope as a face-to-face event. We have Mohan Raidu, the president of ISOC Hyderabad, to deliver a vote of thanks for this edition. I'd like to also welcome Mohan to this session. Thank you and good evening, and back to you, Sudha.
Yeah, now we have Mr. Martin Boterman, ICANN board chairman, a personality with more than 25 years of experience in guiding government and global businesses on the economic and societal impacts of current and future internet innovations and technologies. We are very happy to have him here. Mr. Martin, the space is yours and you have 15 minutes to go.
Okay, thank you very much, Sudha. And thank you for having me. And indeed, as Satish said, last time I was with you was in Kolkata in 2019. And yes, Glenn was there too. And obviously, many of the people involved here, Dr. Govind, Amrita, and many of you. And what I found then and before is it's always so good to see how the program that you pull together pulls in people and brings them forward and onward in the interest of what is such a good and strong enabler for society nowadays, if we use it for the good. So, pleasure. So, COVID-19 has restricted travel. At the same time, it also has taught us that we can do even more with the internet than we ever thought was possible before. So many decisions we've been taking, so many developments we've gone through that we just made happen. And if you would have asked beforehand, can we do that without meeting? The answer would probably has been, well, that'll be very difficult, or no, it's not possible. But we've done it. And yes, we do all look forward to that time where we are freer to move around and to actually be in the room. And the big disadvantage of the screen being that once the session is done, the screen goes dark and we're back in where we are. And we don't have that catch up in the corridor, that talk over coffee. And the human aspect is so important to keep here, but we have to be very conscious about it because it doesn't come automatically like it would be if we would be together in the same space. So my first duty here and pleasure here would be to congratulate Satish Babu for being awarded the Dr. Tariq Kamal Award for capacity building at ICANN 72. This award was set up in honor of the late Dr. Tariq Kamal, who was a key executive in ICANN, but also a very well-known figure in the world of internet governance internationally, as a former minister of Egypt in telecoms as well. And I carry him warmly in my heart. When I think of him, it's a smile and always listening, humbleness, and being willing to serve, because this was what he believed in, on the internet that serves the world. So the award is specifically set up for national, regional, and global capacity development programs. And actually, this INSIG is one of the things that he and many of you have been working on, but he's been, no doubt, an inspirational leader in your midst to make this happen and pull in new people, inform new people, because that's what we need. The internet has been built for many years ago to start off and to do things. And today it does do much more. And the way to manage it, as we've demonstrated at ICANN, is really by pulling stakeholders together and together find a way forward. Not leave it to any individual stakeholder, but all participate on equal footing. Users, providers, governments, technical experts, and all of them are engaged in making this happen. So, Satish, very pleased to have your outstanding efforts. Admittedly, during the board meeting where this was discussed, I was holding it back a little bit because I sort of felt a little bit in danger of favoring my friend, but I didn't need to because it was an obvious decision from the entire board. So, Satish and Amrita asked me to say a little bit about ICANN 72 that we just concluded, our annual general meeting, the second one that we actually did in a virtual way. And we did it in the time zone of Seattle, west coast of America. What we are committed to is to try to at least follow that part in going around of the world, that we respect the different time zones in which people are participating. And that is not easy for many, because for us, it meant often working between midnight, 3 a.m. In Europe and Africa. I'm based in the Netherlands, Rotterdam. For others in India, in Japan, in Asia, it's also sometimes times that you wouldn't expect people to be there, but people do participate, and participate maybe more selectively, but for sure can participate to sessions they otherwise may not be able to, not only because of travel, but also because the world today asks from us to be around with those we care for, with those we need to take care of, and business opportunities. So moving forward, for sure, we do look forward to this time where everybody who participates in the ICANN multi-stakeholder system to focus on how to ensure a continued secure and stable domain name system serving the world, this one internet. We'd love to be together in one time zone again, but we will be more conscious about including those who can't be on location, who will participate from a distance also in the future. Not necessarily because of the pandemic, but maybe also because there's other reasons why people can't travel and still would be excellent participants. Now, this has always been the case. In the past, we would have a question from a remote participant, but I think it's important we find a way forward in which we make this more inclusive for remote participants than it was before. Now, the other subjects that we did discuss primarily at this moment as key attention is the security threats to the internet, to the domain name system. And in particular, because we very much recognize that the domain name system can be used for abuse as well as for its good use. And malicious use of registration of domain names is something that we really need to pay attention to and step up in our role as steward in the field to make sure that we do what we can to reduce that risk. So in the ICANN multi-stakeholder system, it's the community that ultimately would come to policies of how to tackle this. And what we see is that the discussion is going on very much determining, so what is abuse and what of this is something we need to tackle within the ICANN system using our contracts with service providers, with registries, and where we ensure compliance with the agreements in the contracts and the policies that are made in ICANN. So for that, we are still very much in the seeking stage. And we had a very good public session on this, a board session with security service providers, like people from FIRST, from anti-abuse groups, etc. On the day prior to the actual week of ICANN. and you can find the recordings there. It's really been a good discussion to dive deeper. So step by step, we will continue to make sure that we tackle that as well as we can. And I'm sure we will, but we also need to. You may remember in the 90s that spam was a big problem for a large part of the internet. A lot of the spam has now been tackled. There's protections that nowadays help a little bit, like the firewall that used to be a problem in the past is a natural thing and an automatic part of the package now. So it's not a hopeless thing, but we need to continue to address those topics, because the more critical the internet becomes for your business, for your society, for your personal interaction, the more important it is that we make sure that abuse becomes very difficult and recognizable when it happens. So that's one part. The second part is that we continue to work on more domain names. So next to .com, .org, there's also other domain names like .market, .hotel, .berlin, regional names. All these names that can be used for specific purposes, .bank, .ngo, and others, including more and more what they call IDNs, internationalized domain names, which are domain names that are formulated in local characters. And we very much recognize that one of the countries and the regions that would benefit most from it may well be India. Knowing that you got Bangla, Devanagari, Gurmukhi, Gujarati, Kannada, Malayalam, Oriya, Tamil, and Telugu. And I'm sure my pronunciation wasn't perfect, but I'm very much aware that particularly in a country like yours, also that people on the ground who may not all be fluent in English and in the English script are able to use the internet for their benefit. I enjoyed hearing the last bit of the previous session in which a lot of developments in India were explained. And I can see how the global side of the internet will have a great impact on India, but also the local side that may well be served by IDNs that will help local markets to integrate and come together. Might be much more powerful than in the past. We are now not looking at the first 5.5 billion internet users who are mostly using the Anglo script, Anglo language, and some other languages, but very few IDNs yet. Now we need to make sure that this also takes place. And for that, we see also the need of multiple stakeholders to play their role. Because it's not only about making sure that universal acceptance of these new domain names, which means that they're recognized in the browsers, that they're recognized in email, that you can actually use these IDNs not only for your texts, but also for your addressing. So that's a key factor to ensure, but you also need content in those languages and business in those languages to be able to pull people into using it. Well, India is also really having a key role in here with also, for instance, Dr. Ajay Datta and Dr. Pavanaya as chair and vice chair of the Universal Acceptance Steering Group, which is a multi-stakeholder group supported by ICANN, but driven by the stakeholders to make sure that these things work well. So with that, again, capacity building is key. It's great to see that you have been attentive and interested in following the discussions over the last couple of days. If we all would only today already use best practice, state-of-the-art practices, it would already make such a difference in more effective use of the internet and less problems with the bad guys on the internet. So Thank you for your attention. Thank you for joining for these days. And please make sure this is the first step of a continued journey, because there's so much that we can do together. And the good news is, even if you can't travel, you can still participate in a lot of activities. And I look forward to see you around. So thank you very much for having me. And happy to answer questions, if any.
Thank you, Martin, for the wonderful talk. Next, we have a special address by Mr. Anil Jain, CEO, Nixie. Mr. Jain is an expert in internet, broadband, and telecom sectors and has a vast experience of 36 years in different telecommunication roles. Sir, the space is yours and you have 10 minutes to go.
Thank you, Sudha. And thank you, INSIC, for inviting me and sharing my thoughts to all of you. I hope I am audible to everybody.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Martin, Amrita, Satish Babu, Ihita, Glenn, and Mr. Mohan from Hyderabad INSIC, and my friend Dr. Govind, I'm able to see some of the face which I can recognize. Good evening to all of you. And as per the timing of Martin and Glenn, wherever they are, uh, internet governance, which is being discussed today in INSIC, I think it is the topic which is very, very important, not only in India, but globally. Today, I personally feel, and we in India feel, that internet discussion is as much as discussing the lives of the people. It is basically becoming a part of the governance of all the countries globally. And it is reported that some of the countries are especially making the ministries related to internet alone or broadband alone. The importance has gained so much because internet is not only a technology any longer, but the applications around internet which are getting developed are so important that a time has come when it is very difficult to live without internet. Let us think about a particular situation when internet is out because of the blackout or whatever is there. We will feel suffocated, that we are not able to do the daily work, we are not able to do our commercial work, we are not able to actually live, I can say. So India, as the country with the largest number of broadband users, and also the country with the maximum data usage per user per month, I personally feel that it is a very, very important country. As Martin has said, uh, that India is a country with multi languages, multicultural. So basically, we represent a mini globe, and whatever we are doing at present, I think this will give a lot of directions to organizations like ICANN or IGF to move forward, to prepare the policies, to prepare the directions and the procedures for the internet users to go ahead. So, Martin was talking about and what we have discussed in ICANN 72, that is the DNS abuse, which is a very, very important topic, and capacity building. And he also talked about the multi-language internet, which is being done. So I would like to spend some time on the multi-language internet, importance of this, and what is required to progress and take it forward to the next level. As we have discussed, that India is a country with 2000 languages plus, and we have 22 languages which are officially recognized. And I am really thankful to ICANN and the entire community to grant 22 IDNs. And I think this is the highest number of IDN which any country has got. And we are now pushing the use of internet in the local languages. But the progress is low. Why? Because there are several factors. Let me also talk about, although we are a country with more than 840 million broadband users, but still the figure is that around 83 to 84% of we Indians do not speak English, do not read English, do not understand English. So it is very, very important that not only the non-speaking population to be integrated with the internet world, but we are going slightly further ahead. We are also talking about those people who are illiterate and they only understand and speak their mother tongue, but they are not able to write, they are not able to read anything of any language. So we are working on both the directions. Number one, including the people who are um, non-English speaking and also those people who are illiterate at present or less illiterate. We can say less illiterate so that they are not able to communicate in this. What we have understood is that putting a domain is one aspect. So domain we are pushing, and let me inform you that uh, we have kept the IDN CCTLDs virtually free of cost because we are providing one IDN CCTLD free with every CCTLD. So that is going on, and we are also providing free CCTLDs to the academia. IDN CCTLD to the academia. So this is some step which we are taking to push CCTLD. But I personally feel that not only this, but UASG is a very important step and direction which ICANN has taken, and Dr. Ajay Data is leading this step. Uh, my organization Nixie has taken two steps. Number one, we have started already a helpline number and help desk. In case anybody in the country required a help in converting their website or their programs or their hardware or software which is UA compliant, and they are finding problem, they can dial us. We will extend the help to them so that they can go ahead and implement the universal acceptance. Second, we are now in a process of appointing the UA ambassadors in the country who will go to various part of the country, talk in their own local language. They will also interact with the website developers. They will also interact with the software developers. They will also interact with various other application developers in and around internet. And they will also talk to them that why UA is important and how comfortable and easy it is to adopt UA. So these information delivery capacity building process of UA will start. The last step which we have started is that we have formed a group in which Dr. Ajay Data is also member. ICANN representative India's Samiran is also one of the members. So we are now making the policies, making the processes, making the systems through which systematically the UA can be adopted, and adoption of local languages, internet in local languages can go up. So these are the few steps, and I personally feel that time has come. Maybe in next uh, few years, you will say that adoption of IDN is much more than the CCTLD or GTLD themselves. So this is one aspect which is there, and I think we have to be careful because new group of GTLDs around 1500 are on the block. We have already 1500 to 2000 GTLDs, and large number of countries have adopted the CCTLDs. So I think variant management and confusion similarity are another area which brings the stability or disability technically on the platforms which are delivering and giving services on the TLDs. So this is one area which I am focusing, and I am part of various working groups of CCNSO and GTLDs also. And we hope that we should be able to have a smooth transition from the existing GTLDs and CCTLDs to the new one including the variants, and we would like to see that the whole world is able to adopt all the new developments in and around. One more thing I want to inform all the members here that India and NICSI is ready to help the nearby countries also, not only in adoption of the CCTLDs, but um, uh, UA ready systems. We are also happy to share the internet exchange technologies and our experiences with the nearby countries, and also we can help in migration from IPv4 to IPv6 in nearby country. Lastly, I would like to inform and invite all of you. India is hosting the first India IGF from 25th to 27th of November 2020 2021. And I am very happy that Martin has accepted our invitation, and he's kindly agreed to be part of the high level roundtable conference chaired by Honorable Cabinet Minister for Information and Electronic. And in this particular IIGF, we are going to have several topics which are being discussed. The topic of IIGF is empowering India with the power of internet. And in and around, we are also discussing not only the technology, we are also talking about the how the internet is help us in bringing $1 trillion digital economy in future. We are also talking about the adoption of internet by people like you, women, children, and disables. And we are also talking about various new technologies which are being used for development of the GDP and economy, for example, for the startups, payment gateways, and other information. I think it is going to be a very, very interesting session. And I invite, as a chair of India IGF, I invite all of you cordially to join this meeting and be part of this historical event. Thank you very much again for INSIC for giving me this opportunity. Thank you. And I am open for any questions in case anybody has any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. That was great information. We came to know like what are the initiatives taken by NICSI. Thank you for that. Now we have Ms. Ahita from Youth IGF India to give an update on India Youth IGF. Over to Ahita. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. Good evening, all. I'm Ahita Gangavarapu. I'm the steering committee member at Youth IGF India. At Youth IGF India, we work towards building capacity in the youth on topics at the intersection of technology, policy, and society. And we give youth a platform to discuss internet governance-based policies and regulations that affect them and their society. So we are recognized by the United Nations Internet Governance Forum and supported by INSIG. And as very rightly mentioned by Mr. Satish Babu, we're very happy that INSIG has played a crucial role in getting us on our feet in 2018 and have continued guiding and supporting us till this day. So at Youth IGF India, we have organized 3 annual forums so far. The first one in New Delhi in 2018, Kolkata in 2019, and the last edition was held virtually. In addition to, of course, having year-round webinars and a bunch of other capacity building sessions. And we're very happy that as of now, we have exposed more than 800 youth to the internet governance domain. So in our discussions, we usually cover various topics and various pillars of internet governance, such as cybersecurity, digital inclusion and diversity, environment and ICT. Last year we covered mental health and internet. And data governance as well. So the 4th annual Youth IGF India 2021 will be organized on the 4th and 5th of December this year with the theme Internet for All. And every year we select 20 to 25 fellows to provide targeted mentorship to on various internet governance issues and encourage them to contribute to the official report that we send as Youth IGF India to UN IGF, which contains recommendations from our fellows. And last year, through a multi-stakeholder discussions with the fellows, we formulated recommendations on the topic of censorship and right to freedom of expression. So although we've just wrapped up the fellowship for the 2021 edition, but in a couple of days, we'll be opening registrations for the event. So the event is open for all, irrespective of age and nationality. So we welcome you all to join us for Youth IGF India 2021. We are also organizing a session at the India IGF 2021 on 26th of November. It's titled Empowering Youth for a Digitally Safe Bharat. Do register for the session. I think the information of the session has not yet been updated on the website. So what I'll do is I'll share information of our social media and our email ID in the chat, so you can follow us for updates and also reach out to us for any questions. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and a big congratulations to the INSIG team for a successful INSIG 2021.
Thank you, Ajita. We now have Mr. Glenn McKnight, Information Officer at Virtual School of Internet Governance, to give a highlight on the Virtual School of Internet Governance. Over to Glenn, you have 5 minutes to go.
Great, thank you, everybody. It's great to see you virtually. I would have loved to have been able to join you all personally, but COVID has made challenges for all of us. First of all, I'd like to thank the INSIG leadership in providing me this opportunity to share some time together. Personally, I've been attending, I think it's 3 and maybe 4 of the 6 INSIG events. So I feel very comfortable in sharing my time with the organizers, since we actually, as Satish mentioned earlier, we rub elbows on a bunch of stuff, many years working and presenting it together at IGFs. We've been both involved with IEEE in our own sections and the humanitarian activities committees and site and numerous IEEE events, but also, you know, as a founder of ISOC Canada and on the board of ISOC, we would meet quite often, virtually and otherwise. And lastly, since 2009, we've been involved with ICANN events, him being the chair for AP Rello, and I was the chair for Norello, now in the Secretariat. So many of our paths cross quite often. And not to mention Rita, who's a phenomenal supporter of what we do and is on our VSIG advisory council. But it's great to see everybody in person. So in addition to having great fun when we actually deliver our face-to-face events, we also have some of the greatest discussions. And you know, it's really nice to compare how India approaches the same challenges that we have in Canada and elsewhere. And I feel that some of the presentations that I've seen have been top notch. They've been really great to have the experience working with everybody in the working committee, but also the content, the fellows, the sponsors. It is absolutely, I would say, one of the best, if not the best, school of internet governance. And I'm saying ranking over what we do in North America. And I've had a lot of experience volunteering for many years with other schools. And I'm not going to mention what they are because they may get offended that I put you guys first. I was pondering about the significance of the 6-year milestone celebrating INSIG. In many countries, it's a common marriage milestone of 6 years to share a gift. And not only the 6th year, but many other years as well. But what's significant is 6 years represents a gift that you give someone of iron. You know, iron is a metal. And it's kind of interesting, in Canada, the graduating engineering students are given and wear an iron ring. This tradition started as a symbol and reminder of the obligations and ethics associated with their profession. In celebration of the iron anniversary, it's appropriate for INSIG, especially given the past 2 years of COVID impacting everyone from volunteers, sponsors, speakers, and participants, they all demonstrate an iron will to continue the tradition and values of designing and delivering a world-class learning experience. As virtual events, it's extremely difficult for everyone. It's hard to participate, hard to watch, hard to tear your attention away from other things. There's so many distractions. We can't underestimate the value of face-to-face schools, which brings tangible and intangible benefits when you spend valuable time learning from each other. Everyone that has attended an INSIG event absolutely are challenged. They're not only challenged, they're entertained, they're inspired and motivated. I would like to Sorry, my wife is bringing me a coffee. Now I've distracted my where I was. Just bear with me for a second. Thank you, Joan.
Enjoy your coffee.
I jumped down on my screen and now I'm trying to find where I was. Okay, I found myself. Sorry about that. I would like to share with some of you my personal stories as the co-founder of the Virtual School of Internet Governance and the North American School, which is called NASIG, which we just actually finished an event on Friday. We formed INSIG in the spring of 2020, and it was a result of the reality that NASIG would not happen as planned, and the research revealed that a large gap in online learning with a comprehensive multilingual, free and accessible online program. Our humble beginning started with the prudent advice from our senior advisors, such as Satish Babu, and the ongoing and continuing support of Amrita Chaudhary as one of our VSIG advisory committee members, who provided their critical and constructive suggestions to make our online program not only inclusive, but extensive. VSIG has never ever has designed a program to replace a face-to-face national or regional school. As in the case of INSIG, the organizers, topics, speakers, and participants come from the community. They understand the needs and wants of the community and are personally impacted by the decisions of local policymakers and have on-the-ground intelligence critical to making internet governance a relevant and impactful body of knowledge. Our approach is to provide the novice with the widest possible exposure to the core topics that everyone from an engineer, data scientist, politician, bureaucrat, human rights advocate to educators, that the entire internet ecosystem is revealed. In many ways, what VSIG looks like graphically, just picture it, that we cover miles of knowledge, but we are only 1 inch deep in building the information pathway for the participants. The rest of the bedrock, the 6 or 12 or 18 inches of underneath that 1 inch of pavement, is going to be what the schools, face-to-face schools do, which is exactly what INSIG does. Our goal is to excite, stimulate, and inspire those individuals to learn, connect, and move onward to participation with schools like INSIG. If none exist in the region, we look to work with groups to build such opportunities for others. A quick snapshot of VSIG. We've had over 600 students enrolled in our English and our new Spanish cohort. So that means we've had 5 English and 1 Spanish course since 2020. We've had over 60 selected speakers from each of the core topics, and every one of the recordings have been shared on YouTube. Moving ahead, we're looking at series additional translations beyond Spanish. In 2022, we actually started work on our French translation already, and we have continued interest in working with the Egyptian government on Arabic. We actually proposed the APNEC, Hindi, Bengali, and Chinese for translation of this year, but we'll probably look at the year after. Chinese and Russian. Chinese is actively starting with the Beijing University, and Russian as well. So what if the COVID stops? Do we have for any reasons for being? Well, we are seeing in some schools, such as the European School of IG and perhaps others, they are returning to full face-to-face meetings or a hybrid version of the courses, since the virtual online meetings, which they experience with failed to give the same enriched personal experience. Other schools, and there's roughly, Amrita and Satish can add to me, there's roughly 12 to 15 schools that are running schools of internet governance. Other schools are still continuing to do their virtual. We don't see any slowing down of our delivery of the virtual school. But if anything, we intend to ramp up with more multilingual courses. This made possible with partnerships as we are with UNESCO with Russian and Chinese with the Beijing University and other languages. What does 2022 look like for internet governance training?
Excuse me, Mr. Ben, I think we are running out of time.
Okay, just very briefly, we are looking at presenting at the IGF for our presentation on December 9th. And again, like INSIG, we really encourage partnerships, such as you see with ICANN, ABNEC, IETF, IEEE, universities, and others. I'll just flip to my conclusion. Kudos to all the organizers in designing and delivering a top-notch online program. Looking forward to next year's event, and hopefully we'll see each other face to face. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn, for the information about VSIC. Feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and not giving it. So now I call upon Mr. K. Mohan Raidu, President, Internet Society Hyderabad, to unwrap our gratitude and present the vote of thanks. The space is yours, Mohan.
Thank you. Good day to everyone. On behalf of ISAC India Hyderabad chapter, I have immense pleasure in proposing vote of thanks for this INSIG 2021. Every good thing comes to an end, and so are at the successful end of 6th edition of this INSIG. We are pleased to note that there are 32.
Just a moment, your camera is off. Do you want to switch it on?
No, actually there's a problem. Okay. I think
Okay,
I'll go with this, yeah. Am I audible, please?
Yes, you are audible.
Yes.
Yeah. We are pleased to note that there are 32 Indian fellows and 14 international fellows from 10 countries in this edition of INSIG. We started off the INSIG 2021 with fellows meet and greet on 14th November, where the objectives of the INSIG were shared and the steering group members and fellows introduced themselves. This time we got INSIG alumni from the previous 5 editions to share their experiences. This was an excellent move, as the new fellows could feel united as one community with the alumni. I congratulate and thank all fellows who could make the best use of the event. I thank the INSIG alumnus who took their time to share their experiences and guide the new fellows to contribute to the society. INSIG 2021 was inaugurated by Jaideep Mishra, the Joint Secretary of Government of India, MeitY, on 19th November. I thank him for gracing the occasion. The 3-day event comprised of keynote addresses, thematic sessions, perspectives, special sessions, and a social session. I thank all speakers and panelists who took time off to join this INSIG 2021 and share their expertise with our fellows. I'm very grateful to Martin Bottoman, Chairman of ICANN Board, for being with us today to share his experiences and to interact with us. Martin has been a great friend of INSIG and has personally attended the last 3 physical editions of INSIG. Thank you, Martin, and I'm sure you will continue to associate with us in future. I'm also grateful to Sri Anil Jain, CEO NIXI. NIXI has been a supporter of INSIG from its inception. And we are also aware that NIXI's active role in promoting internet governance in India. I thank you, sir, for being with us today. I also thank Mr. Glenn from Virtual School of Internet Governance for his continued participation in INSIG and for his message today. The steering committee of INSIG 2021 has been instrumental in guiding the design and conduct of INSIG. We are very grateful to all the members of the steering committee for their support and encouragement. I thank my colleagues in the INSIG core committee for working as a single team through numerous meetings and discussions. The INSIG model of the group of 6 ISAC chapters working together on a voluntary basis has delivered excellent results once again. The fellows of INSIG now join the community of INSIG alumni. I hope that each member of the alumni would be able to contribute to internet governance processes worldwide and also within their own communities. INSIG 2022 will be hosted by ISAC India Hyderabad chapter. I hope to meet many of you personally on that occasion. Please be assured that we will plan a memorable annual event with a gala valedictory. You can also plan to visit the historic places of Hyderabad, such as Charminar, Golconda Fort, Usmania University, and Salajang Museum, etc. With these words, I thank everyone who has joined this call and wish you the very best in your future endeavors. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohan, for inviting everyone to Hyderabad. I'm sure most of the people here would want to go to Hyderabad once again. That time we had it with the ICANN, but this time we will have it with with a host chapter. So thank you everyone for being here. Martin, Glenn, Ihita, Mr. Jain, I think he's left, for being here. And this concludes INSIG 2021. But please be there. I have 3 questions which I have for the fellows, and I will put in, just give me a moment. I will pull in the poll questions. One moment. And so you have a minute and you can put in your responses. It can be in 20 words. Describe your INSIG 2021 experience. You can write anything you want out there. So you can put in your words as participants. I can see quite a few coming in. Your names will not be there, so you can write good, bad, ugly, whatever you feel. So we have many people. I can just see 4 responses. If you are there, fellows, do put in, key in anything you want.
Hi, Amrita. Where has this been shared?
Okay, this has been shared over poll. I'm not sure if. Okay. So the question was your INSIG experience. Are you able to view it on your screen?
No.
Okay. How many of you? I can see 4 responses which has come in. The poll screen went off. Wait. Just give me a moment.
Alternatively, Amrita, can we, ask them to all shout together on the screen? Their
Okay.
feedback.
Okay. Fair enough.
Like,
So,
if you are feeling energetic, let them say, yes, we enjoyed it or something like that.
Okay. Okay. So let's do something. Let's move. Let's kick off the poll. So you have this. If you look at reactions, you you have the 3 dots. You can share a smiley or you can share a sad face or whatever. And Pratik is here to look at it. So my first question to all of you was, what was your feeling of day 1? Day 3? Did you find today's sessions insightful? Is it yes, yes, very much, to some extent, unsure, no, not at all? You can, show it in whichever way. Okay, I can see some emojis coming. Keep it rolling. If you're unsure, you can show a confused mind also. That also works. And this is just a beginning. Once you all conclude, we will have these certificates also emailed to all of you. And the other thing which we would also like to hear from you is what you would like as improvements. So perhaps we would be organizing, Satish, if I'm not wrong, we would be organizing a special session for getting feedbacks, right? Satish, if you're there, we would want to have a feedback session sometime later, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and what would happen is all of you who have been here for the 3 days, we will move you to something called as the INSIG Alumni WhatsApp group and mailing group. Mohan, you need to be muted or I will mute you. So we have an INSIG Alumni group where we would be adding you. The mailing list also would be changing. You will get into the INSIG alumni mailing list. I may take a few days time, but please be patient, and we will add you to the WhatsApp group also. And before we end, though they may not be here, I would like to thank Shubhrajit, who has the excellent band. You look at the designs which are there as our backdrop or presentations, they have all been made by Shubhrajit. He's not in the call today, but I would like to thank him. I would also like to thank the Jay's team, who has been recording these the entire sessions, and they will be editing the videos and putting it on. As you can tweet about the sessions, etc., but it should be generalized. Many times people, when they are speaking, they may be speaking in their personal capacity, since it's a capacity building initiative. It's not their professional standpoint many a time, so just be careful about that. But you can keep tweeting using hashtag INSIG 2021, tagging at IndiaSig. And these conversations will continue. You have our email IDs. You can keep on using the WhatsApp chat, asking questions, etc. And we would also like to hear from you what improvements you want. We'll have a open session on that, and we will inform you. But in case you have any feedbacks you want to send, you can send it to us one and on. So thank you so much. Anyone who wants to take up the mic and speak, we can still take 3 such comments from fellows. Anyone wants to speak up, please do. No raising hands, you can go ahead. I guess everyone's tired. No one from the fellows wants to speak.
Yeah, I think I saw a hand from Ahita.
Okay, Ahita, you can.
No. Please, Anushka wanted to speak. I think I was appreciating this clapping emoji.
Okay, Anushka, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so it was really great. I want to thank, so thanks a lot for having us here. I also wanted to ask if we were going to have any there were going to be local chapter meetings, maybe physically soon at some point, which fellows could also attend.
So we are just watching the situation. So there is IndiaSig if you want to attend, though it's virtual, but the local chapters will also be having, since Anushka, you are based in Delhi, right, in the north, so you would be from the Delhi chapter. So we would be having some discussions coming soon, hopefully with the data protection bill, if we are seeing something coming. So we'll have some discussions, and everyone from all chapters are encouraged to join us, and we are pretty open about it amongst chapters. So we'll give information. Similarly, if Chennai does something, they always inform us. We share those details, or if Hyderabad does or Mumbai does. So we encourage. It's not like one chapter does, others can't meet. We are pretty flexible amongst us chapters, and we collaborate on most things. Like if Kolkata does something technical, we send out the message. Whoever is interested in the chapters, they do. So we are pretty open on these things. But definitely from Delhi, we will be having some discussions happening on the policy aspects, which would come. Glenn, I can see your hand up, and Shruti. So Shruti first, and then Glenn.
Thank you. And yeah, it was such a nice experience because it was my first INSIG. And first of all, thank you a lot. I got the opportunity to hear from so many learned people, so knowledgeable. Like, otherwise I won't be able to, like, I won't have the chance to hear from them if I would not be there in INSIG. So thank you a lot. And the first day when that windsurf video that you people have shown, that was so amazing. And the first thing that I told to my parents is that, okay, I was never able to see the father of computer, but I could see the father of internet at least. So thank you so much for this.
Cool. Glenn, you want to come in?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I encourage all the fellows, don't treat this if this is your first INSIG, that that's it. You have your piece of paper and you're finished. Definitely get involved. If you see a topic that you feel is a great topic for the next INSIG, it's your opportunity to get involved, volunteer, suggest the topics, because the topics that INSEAD creates is not artificial. This is grassroots organization. So, and not every year is the same topic. And, maybe next year, the big one is going to be on cryptocurrency. Nobody really knows. But I think what's important in INSEAD is that it makes an effort to listen to the community. So all of you are part of the community now. You have no choice but to be involved with INSEAD for the rest of your life, right, Marita?
Yes, Glenn, and we would encourage you to participate. We'll be sending you messages like IGF is the next big thing, which is around the corner from 6th to 11th of December. Do register, join. If you have any issues, just reach out to us. I'll be happy to help you navigate. Glenn's there, and most of the people are there. So Nirosha, over to you. You want to make some comments.
Okay, thank you, Aibon. I'm from Sri Lanka, Nirosha. Thank you, Amrita and Dr. Sudha, selecting me for this and giving opportunities. So I'm really interesting, and there were a lot of informative sessions we had last 3 days. So it was really amazing. And also I have also seen the father of internet. It was really amazing opportunity. And also it was really interesting this morning we had 11 to 12, very nice session. We were really enjoy with that. That is also very interesting thing. And also I got opportunity to represent. So that is also a very interesting thing. So thank you so much for giving such an opportunity and selecting me as a fellow. Thank you, and I won.
Thank you. So just don't think today is the end, guys. You have started a journey, as Glenn said. So learn more, participate in more places, whatever interests you. You don't have to do everything. You can just take one thing and be interested in that. Jahez, I see you. We'll take you last. I was seeing somewhere as Zoom fatigue. So we'll give you rest after that. Jahez, over to you. Wanted to speak.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry that I cannot switch on my camera. Yeah. So what I want to share is that when I got the opportunity to participate in this program, ma'am, I was actually I didn't know much about internet society. So when I told my friends about all these things, how these policies work, like they asked me whether there are policies, and the opportunity which I got is so amazing. And one thing I noted mainly is that everyone in this meet, you treat everyone equally. That's the main thing I noted, because first when I came, I called you guys, ma'am. Then you told it's not like that. You have to call our name, and it was so amazing that it was very informative and very friendly way you did it. And I got to see father of internet. That's actually really amazing. And yesterday when the advocate from Supreme Court talked, that was so amazing. Today's session was so amazing. So thank you for the opportunity that you have given us. And it was a eye-opening session for me. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much, everyone. I think most of us from the team can someone mute? Okay, so we all, I think, enjoyed it, as in I'm saying it from everyone's part from INSEAD. We all enjoyed it, and we would have loved to have you all and meet you all in person. Nevertheless, we met online, and we will keep on meeting online, and see you at the, take a feedback session of INSEAD. Whenever we have it, we will let you know. Your certificates will be there, and winners, people will be coordinating with you to get the gifts. Rijul has had a great day today, as in his lady luck was shining. So with this, we end today's session. Thank you so much, everyone.